Have you ever looked at an elderly loved one and thought, they were doing fine just last year? What happened so fast? Maybe it was your dad who used to walk around the block every morning without missing a beat, and now he barely makes it to the mailbox. Or maybe it's your aunt who used to host the family dinners, always laughing, always full of life. But now she sits quietly, eating almost nothing, barely speaking. You try to explain it. Well, they're just getting older, right? But deep down, something doesn't sit right, because the decline seems too sudden, too sharp, too silent. What if I told you that most older people who struggle to live beyond 80 aren't just getting old? They're actually fighting battles we don't see. Not the obvious ones, not cancer or strokes, or the conditions we already know how to spot. I'm talking about hidden health issues, subtle changes in the body that most families miss until it's too late to do anything about them. You see, the human body doesn't just give up overnight. It gives clues, quiet, almost invisible signs that something deeper is going wrong. But because these clues don't scream for attention, because they don't show up in dramatic ways, we ignore them. We tell ourselves, they're just tired today, or that's just what getting old looks like. But what if you knew what to look for? What if you could catch those hidden health issues early and help your loved one live not just longer, but better, more energy, more clarity, more precious time with the people they love, including you? In this video, we're going to uncover 4 powerful but hidden reasons why many seniors struggle to live beyond 80. These are the ones doctors don't always explain well, the ones families misunderstand, and the ones that quietly rob our elders of strength, health, and time. And trust me, you'll want to stay until the very end, because the last one on this list, it's the most surprising, and it could make the biggest difference. So take a deep breath, because what you're about to learn might change how you care for your aging loved ones forever. Comment, "I'm here" if you're ready to give your loved ones the healthiest, happiest final years. And don't forget to subscribe to Wisdom of Longevity, because understanding the journey of aging is the first step toward walking it with love, dignity, and hope. Let's begin. Reason 1, silent chronic inflammation. Picture this: your father, once sharp, funny, active, the kind of man who never needed help carrying the groceries, is now waking up stiff every morning. He rubs his knees after sitting too long. He naps more often, but never seems rested. The doctor says nothing's seriously wrong. So you start thinking, maybe this is just what getting old looks like, right? But what if I told you that what's happening inside his body isn't just age, it's inflammation, and not the kind that gives you a swollen ankle or a fever. This is low-grade, quiet inflammation, creeping through his joints, his blood vessels, even his brain. Doctors call it inflammaging. It's your body's immune system staying slightly activated all the time. And over the years, that small fire becomes a slow burn, damaging tissues, accelerating aging, and opening the door to serious illness. Heart disease, cognitive decline, frailty. They don't just show up, they're built on years of silent inflammation. The heartbreaking part? Most families ignore the signs. Oh, he's just stiff from sleeping. She's always been tired in the mornings. We miss the connection. But you can do something about it. Encourage small changes. Add anti-inflammatory foods like leafy greens, berries, turmeric, and fish rich in omega-3s. Even a short daily walk, just 10 minutes around the yard, can help reduce inflammation markers. And the earlier you start, the better their chances of staying mobile, sharp, and independent. But inflammation isn't the only silent danger. There's another that's even more overlooked, and it starts with something as simple as not feeling thirsty. Reason 2, chronic dehydration. Let me tell you a story. A woman wrote about her grandmother, once a bright, talkative spirit, who slowly became confused, sluggish, and detached. Doctors checked her memory, ran tests for Alzheimer's. But the real issue? She was chronically dehydrated. See, as we age, the body stops sending reliable thirst signals. It's like the brain forgets to say, drink water. And when you're not thirsty, you don't drink. Over time, this leads to thickened blood, sluggish circulation, fatigue, even cognitive issues. Sometimes what looks like dementia is really just dehydration. But here's the mistake most people make. They think if they were thirsty, they'd drink. That logic works for a 30-year-old, not for someone in their 80s. So what can you do? Make hydration part of the routine. Flavored waters, herbal teas, soups and broths, even fruits like watermelon and cucumber. These all count. Sometimes even handing them a cup and sipping alongside them helps. It's a small shift, but it can transform energy levels, clarity, even prevent dangerous falls. And speaking of things we often misread, what if your loved one's silence, their withdrawal, wasn't about old age at all? Reason 3, late life. Imagine this. Your aunt used to knit sweaters for every grandkid. She always had the radio playing, always made sure you left with something to eat. Now she barely gets out of bed. She says she's fine, just tired. She smiles politely when you visit, but her eyes don't light up the way they used to. And everyone says the same thing. She's just old. She's been through a lot lately. But deep down, something's missing. Late life depression is one of the most overlooked health threats in older adults, and it doesn't always look like sadness. It hides behind physical symptoms, body aches, sleep problems, memory lapses. It's misdiagnosed, or worse, dismissed as just getting old. But untreated depression isn't just emotional, it's physical. It weakens the immune system. It speeds up cognitive decline. And yes, it shortens life expectancy. So what can you do? Start small. Encourage purpose, routine. Invite them to sit in the garden, to listen to music, to go for a walk. Sometimes it's not about fixing everything. It's about reminding them they still matter, that someone sees them. And if things don't improve, don't be afraid to involve a professional. Because when connection returns, life returns. But even if their mood is steady and their mind is sharp, there's one last danger that can strike without warning, and it's one of the deadliest. Reason 4, hidden muscle loss, sarcopenia. It starts quietly. An older neighbor who's always on their feet trips over a rug. They fall, break a hip, and in just months, their entire life changes. Hospital stays, limited mobility, and for many, the beginning of the end. What most people don't realize is that this fall didn't just happen. It was set in motion years earlier by a hidden condition called sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss. After the age of 50, most people lose about 1% of their muscle mass each year. It doesn't sound like much until you realize that by 80, a person may have lost nearly half of what once kept them strong and stable. The danger isn't just in being weak. It's in what happens after a fall. Recovery slows, infection risk increases, confidence disappears, and the spiral begins. The worst part? Many think being thin is healthy, but muscle, not fat, is what keeps an elder safe. So how do you fight back? Start small. Chair exercises, gentle resistance bands, stretching and balance training. Encourage protein-rich meals, eggs, beans, yogurt, fish, and don't forget vitamin D, which helps maintain muscle strength. Don't wait for a fall to act. Start strengthening today, because independence tomorrow depends on it. Seeing these signs can feel like a lot, I know, but you don't have to fix everything overnight. Recognizing them, really seeing them, is already a powerful act of love, because the sooner you notice, the more time you have to protect the people who once protected you. Let's keep going and talk about what this all means for you and your family in the moments that matter most. It's painful. Watching someone you love grow weaker, slower, quieter. Maybe they used to dance in the kitchen or mow the lawn every Sunday morning, and now they struggle to open a jar or forget where they put their glasses. And deep down you wonder, is this just what happens? Or worse, did I miss something? That feeling of helplessness, of guilt, it's real. You're not imagining it. You're not alone in it. But let me tell you something important. You are not powerless, because now you know. You've seen what others miss. You understand that what looks like just aging may be something more. And that gives you a head start, a chance to step in before it's too late. So here's what you can do today. Not next month, not after another doctor's visit. Today, take 5 minutes. Call your mom, visit your uncle. Watch how they walk. Ask them how they're sleeping. Offer them a glass of water. sit and eat a small meal together. These aren't grand gestures, but they're life-changing ones. Because caring isn't always about doing everything. It's about doing something. And the love in those small things, it matters more than you can imagine. You don't have to be a doctor. You just have to be present. And that alone can be the light in someone's darkest days. So take a breath. You're doing more than enough. And every step you take now is one step closer to giving your loved one the peaceful, comfortable life they deserve. And that's a gift no one forgets. Let's quickly recap what we've learned today, because these 4 hidden health reasons are often missed, even by those who mean well. Silent chronic inflammation, creeping in quietly, weakening the body from within. Chronic dehydration, disguised as confusion or fatigue, but rooted in simple thirst. Late life depression, mistaken for normal aging, but deeply dangerous when ignored. Hidden muscle loss, sarcopenia, the silent thief of strength, stability, and independence. Each one might seem small at first, but together they can shape the final years of someone's life. So if you've noticed any of these signs in a parent, a neighbor, a friend, don't brush them off. Don't wait for the fall, the hospital visit, the regret. Act now. I'd love to hear from you. Which of these signs surprised you the most? Or have you already seen one of these in someone close to you? Drop a comment below. We're all learning together, and your story might help someone else feel seen, understood, or even inspired. If this video helped you in any way, please give it a like. It helps us reach more people who desperately need this information, especially those who feel like they're facing this journey alone. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Wisdom of Longevity, where every week we share insights, tips, and guidance to help you care for the ones who cared for you. Because aging doesn't have to mean decline, not when love, awareness, and knowledge are leading the way. Thank you for spending this time with me today. You could have clicked on anything, but you chose to be here, to learn, to grow, to care. Stay strong, stay informed, and remember, every little step you take makes a big difference in someone's life. I'll see you in the next video.